This is America Weekend. I'm Mike Bennett. He's here every week, naturalist and farmer Greg Quinn, who's responsible for helping to bring black currants back to the U.S. market and, in fact, grows black currants on his Currant farm in the Hudson Valley, New York.
Hi, I'm Greg Quinn with this week's entry into Notes from the Currant Farm. Few things confirm the arrival of spring more than the sound of male spring peepers calling for mates on the first warm evening of the year. Spring peepers are tiny frogs less than 1.5 inches long, and like all tree frogs, their toe pads are sticky and round, necessary for clinging to slimy tree bark and other plants as they climb up to sing their spring song from high atop shrubs and trees, standing in or hanging over water. Spring peepers are more often heard than seen. The males are calling for a mate. The sound of an individual male is a single peep, which is produced by inflating a vocal sac in their throat to almost the full size of the frog itself, and then forcing out one loud, clear peep. They have the largest vocal sac to body size ratio of any frog. They repeat this call faster and louder until a female is attracted to what she perceives is her very own Frank Sinatra, and voila, the rites of spring produce another generation of peepers. These little guys belong to a group of frogs known as chorus frogs. When hundreds or even thousands of spring peepers emerge from their winter sleep and vie for the attention of females, the competition becomes a chorale of peeps and can be heard for up to 2 miles away. Reminiscent of sleigh bells, this tinkling sound has given the peepers many fanciful nicknames, such as Pinkletinks, Tinkletoes, and my father, who is from Nova Scotia, called them Pinktinks. Their Latin name is Pseudocris crucifer. Pseudocris means false locust because their call can sound like crickets, and crucifer because there is a distinct black cross on their back of the gray, brown, and green bodies. Like some other amphibians, they can adjust their color or shade to match their surroundings. They also sport a dark band on their legs and a dark bar between their eyes. They do most of their calling and breeding a few hours after daylight and before dawn. After breeding, each female can lay up to 1,000 eggs in the water attached to sticks or under vegetation. These numbers are necessary because there are many predators of this little frog. They go from egg to tadpole, an animal which has a tail and breathes with gills underwater, to a frog with lungs and no tail in about 8 weeks. They then leave the water to spend the rest of the year in the woods. By the end of the summer, they are adult size and can live up to 3 years. These little frogs produce a glucose, a form of sugar, in the late autumn, which acts as a kind of natural antifreeze. In their winter, their bodies actually freeze as they hibernate under old logs or behind loose bark, but their cells are protected from rupturing because of the concentrated sugars in them. Whether you call them pinkwinks, tinkletoes, or just peepers, the unmistakable chorus of the spring peeper are a sure sign that winter is over here on the Currant Farm. Join us next week, right here, for more notes from the Currant Farm, and to get a podcast of this and all previous notes, or to get notes from the Currant Farm delivered to you each week, just sign up at Currants.com. That's Currants with an A. I'm Greg Quinn.
And with our naturalist and farmer Greg Quinn, I'm Mike Bennett. You're listening to America Weekend.